Welcome to I'm Not Joking, the podcast where a behavioral scientist examines what it's like to live a humorous life. Glimpse into the lives of the funniest people in entertainment, business, and science as your host, Dr. Peter McGraw, explores their habits, motivations, and secrets to success. Get ready to fire up your brain and your funny bone. Now, here's your host.
Welcome to I'm Not Joking, the podcast that looks at the lives of funny people. I'm Peter McGraw. Today's guest is Faisal Olayan. Faisal is a supply chain management leader with more than 16 years experience in the industry. He's a director of supply chain management, a gigantic petrochemical company, which is headquartered in Saudi Arabia. And he's a student in my marketing management executive MBA course for London Business School. And he was voted the funniest student in the cohort, which is why I'm sitting down with him now. Welcome, Faisal.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited about this opportunity to talk about myself and the joking that we make in the class.
And you're excited, but you're also a little nervous.
Yeah.
All right, no problem. If you weren't working in supply chain management, what would you be doing?
I will be a singer.
Singer?
Yeah, I like to sing.
Tell me more.
I like the music too much in a way that I listen all the time with the music, including
in my class.
In your class, and you did not notice this.
What are you listening to while I'm lecturing?
Local musics.
Okay. Like who? Like what? Who?
Like the Arab singers from Saudis, from Emirates.
Okay. What's her name? Is
Muhammad Abdul.
Okay. Shakira.
No, I didn't listen to her.
But she's
I like to see her, but not to listen.
You're not like her music so much. Okay. Have you any training in singing?
No.
You sing in the shower?
Everyone does, right? Yeah.
And are you good?
Yeah, I think people said so.
Can you sing something right now?
No. My voice is not.
Yeah, right. And so what kind of singer would you be?
Classic Arabic music.
Okay. Like Kulthum.
Kulthum, yeah. I like Kulthum.
Who doesn't?
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
For listeners who may not know who Kulthum is, she's a famous classical Egyptian singer. Yeah. Probably the most famous.
Yeah.
Yes. And lovely and wonderful.
Yeah.
And so I just impressed my guest by knowing who that is.
You did.
So I suspect most people who are listening to this don't really know what supply chain management is.
Yeah.
And given that you are a leader with more than 16 years experience, teach them. What is supply chain?
Yeah. I think the word supply chain management was created by consultants, so it looks fancy. But it's all about the logistics and connecting your product from your factory all the way to your customers.
Okay.
So including warehousing, planning, the logistics, shipping, transportation, etc. So that's the whole thing about the supply chain. And it consists of the sourcing piece. So people go and procure, and the planning piece, and the logistic piece, and the making. So the manufacturing. Yeah.
And so you're primarily responsible for moving oil and gas around?
We do a petrochemical, so it is in fact a solid product and liquid. Okay. And yeah, it's part of my responsibility.
Wait, say this again?
We don't do oil.
Okay.
And we don't do gas.
Oh, you don't?
But
okay.
We use the oil and gas to make a petrochemical products like the plastics that we use for the cups or for the bags and what have you.
I see. And where is this manufacturing being done?
In Saudi, in Americas, in China, in Korea, we have manufacturing sites around the world.
And then you're shipping these things also around the world.
Yeah.
I see.
Almost in every corner in the world we have some customers.
And so how did you get so good at this? Why are you so good?
How do you know I'm so good?
I mean, right? You work for one of the world's largest petrochemical companies. You've done it for a long time.
I have a bachelor degree in industrial engineering.
Okay.
And they taught us the supply chain management. So it's part of my blood, let's say.
I see. And I think one of the things that I always think about people who are in that field in logistics and so on is that it's very quant focused. It's a very you kind of have to be mathematically inclined.
Yes.
Why is that?
Because you are the first to be touched. I mean, your customer experience, he experienced your supply chain before the product itself.
Okay.
So when the product came late or not in full or the packaging is bad, that's already you are damaging the brand of the product. So you have to be very careful. You have to make it on time, on the right quality, right? So
you're modeling these things?
And you have to be,
right.
You have to be very careful.
Yeah, I think it's sort of a fascinating world. It certainly has, in business, I think, become even more important nowadays. Like there's whole business models. Amazon is basically a supply chain company.
Yes, you're right.
You know?
Yeah.
And they're looking, I mean, I get a kick out of some of the stuff. Like they're looking at buying their own ships and doing like, you know, so there's notion of vertical integration. You know, you own every part of the chain. How to your company? Is that the case?
No, we source the transportation and the vessel.
Okay.
And
so the ships and the
ships and the trucks. So we don't own this.
Okay.
But we manage our supply chain by ourselves. So we contract them. We plan the shipment. And we are responsible for making it on time.
I see. Do you like what you do?
Yes, I like.
Why so?
I'm making a positive change to my company, and I feel I contribute to the welfare of.
And I appreciate the plastic cups and stuff that you sent me. So then why the executive MBA? Because for people listening, this is an unusual program. So you live in Saudi Arabia.
Saudi, yes.
This program's hosted in Dubai, and it's 1 week a month for 18 months or something like that.
Yes.
And so right now you're taking marketing management and finance simultaneously, and then you'll be back in three weeks or so.
Again for
another set of classes and so on. So you're away from home, you're away from work.
Which is good.
I guess being away from work has its benefits. Yeah. But they still must expect similar levels of performance.
Exactly, yeah. So why I choose to do an MBA? Because I really want to expand my knowledge. I want to understand what is corporate finance all about.
Okay.
What those guys in the marketing is doing.
Okay.
So the best way to do it is to go to the best class and to understand what the world thinks about it.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I have already 16 years in business, but I want to learn about the other aspects that I haven't seen, especially on the best practices around the world.
And so what is the career trajectory of someone who in supply chain, right? At some point you must top out, and if you don't move into some other management position overseas, how's that work?
Yeah, we usually move to the business and the sales.
Okay.
For a rotation.
Is that right?
Yeah. So maybe next year after I finish my MBA.
Okay.
I will.
So you'll move.
I'll move to
increasingly into a managerial role. I mean, are you already there? Are you already doing all the management?
I'm already there.
I see. And your sense of humor, does it? Like I saw it on display in class.
Yeah.
You had some good zingers, some good one-liners. Came out of the right side of the classroom. I have to assume that a petrochemical company is a little stiff, a little serious.
Yeah.
But do you employ your comedy chops with your employees, with your supervisors,
with my peers,
with your peers,
and they like my jokes a lot.
Okay.
But not in the front of the executive management.
Okay.
Because they might perceive it like he's not a serious guy or what have you.
It's a reasonable concern.
Yeah. But I exercise it a lot with my kids.
Okay. And you have 4 kids?
I have 4 kids, yes.
You're such a young man for 4 kids.
I'm not a young man, by the way. I look young.
Okay, you look young. So tell me about, how old are your kids?
12, 10, 6, and 3.
And is there more coming?
No, enough.
You're sure 4 is it?
No.
All right. So tell me
more
how.
than enough.
Tell me how yours. Between the two of us, we average 2 kids. So if that helps.
Yeah.
Tell me how you do this.
Especially during the dinner, and the kids like like me too much because I'm not a serious dad. And some of my son friends said, he looks like you're a friend. He's not like your dad, because I play games with them, hide and seek, online games. I always joke. I'm not taking things very serious.
Okay.
And I always use my imagination to attract their attention.
So give me an example.
Last week when we had a dinner, I told them in the beginning of the dinner, imagine you are a car.
Okay.
Which brand of the car you would be?
Okay.
And then I started by saying my wife, their mother, should be a Mercedes-Benz.
Ah, very nice.
Quality, looks nice.
Right.
And
reliable.
And then I ended up this by them saying you are a Chinese car. I said, why is that?
Okay.
Because you always get sick easily. And then their grandmom is a pickup Ford. I said, why?
This is your kids saying this?
Yeah.
Okay.
They say this. So, yeah, some sort of that. I mean,
so there's lots of laughs and they're having fun.
Yes.
That's great. Now, so in the United States, there's this thing called the dad joke. A dad joke. Do you have that in Saudi Arabia?
No.
So dad jokes are kind of corny jokes. Like they're sort of obvious. Like they make your kids roll their eyes when dad tells this joke. They tell the joke over and over again, right?
Yeah.
Like so. I have an ex-girlfriend whose dad used to say, "We're off like a turd of hurdles," instead of "We're off like a herd of turtles," and that was one of his dadisms, his dad jokes there. Which it's a little bit funny the first time you figure it out and hear it, but the 10th time you hear it, as a kid, it's a little too much.
It's too much,
kind of thing. So there's no dad joke in Saudi Arabia?
There is no dad jokes as a phrase, but as a practice, yes.
Yes.
and in fact, I practice this.
So do you have a particular joke that you go to regularly?
I have a story that never ends.
Okay.
And when I said it the first time, everyone was listening. It's about two students. They count the nuts.
Okay.
And each time one of them make mistake and the other correct, and then the teacher come, and then another student come, and everyone starts counting.
Okay.
And counting, and they take a taxi, and the taxi asks, what is the problem? And say, we are counting nuts. We don't know how much. And then it continues.
And the story continues.
And they had an accident and they went to hospital, and also the doctor asked, what is the problem? And they say the story from the beginning.
Okay.
We had some nuts, but he said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I keep counting, and they keep counting. And then for the first time it was fun.
Okay.
And then I keep saying the story.
So you pick it up, will you pick it up later, or you start it over again?
I started over again.
I see.
And then he said, please stop. But in the class, I don't do those jokes. I'm more into the serious question that makes everyone in the class laughing.
Mm-hmm.
For example, when you said, when you have an issue with the air condition.
Yes.
And your partner gets warmer or you get warmer easily.
Yeah.
And either you change the air condition or you change the bed. And then it comes to mind, you change the partner as well.
Right.
Why not?
So the background on this, we were talking about the lack of it, or the opportunity for innovation around sleep, right? Sleep is a super important thing. And what is a problem that you have when you live alone? You can get the temperature. If you like the room warm, you keep it warm. If you like the room cold, you keep it cold. But when you have a partner and one of you likes it warm and the other one likes it cold, how do you deal with that? And we were talking about the options. And someone made a joke about getting a different room, and then you stepped in with the getting a different partner, right? Yeah. In that way. And the class exploded with laughter. It was well timed. And do you think that some of that is your willingness to say it? Like, do you think other people have that thought and they don't want to take the risk of saying it?
Could be.
Like, do you feel like a risk taker?
Yeah, I'm a big risk taker, yeah. And I like to try new things and try new experiences.
In life in general?
In life in general, yeah.
Okay, like what?
New food, city, strange cars.
Okay.
So...
Are you a car guy? What kind of car do you have? You must have like a van or something with 4 kids, no?
A Lexus, the 4x4 Lexus, yeah.
Okay.
But I had Audi Coupe, I had the Ford, the Evolve, the big one.
Oh, really?
A Raptor.
Okay, wow. Is there any issue with driving a Ford in Saudi Arabia? People are okay with that?
Yeah. It's a nice car.
It's a nice car.
Yeah.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, you have a Japanese car right now, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
And some Chinese car.
And you personally. Your kids sound funny.
Yes.
I think when you talk to humorous people, they often will say that it was encouraged. You know, like you can imagine 2 parenting styles. One is very chastising, right? Because to make jokes is to break rules. You know, to say things that might be a little bit off color, off-putting, a little dangerous, reckless. And so, you know, a strict, stern parent is like, you should behave, you know. But a funny parent may encourage that, you know.
Yes.
And so you're modeling this behavior and you're encouraging this behavior and you're probably laughing at this behavior, which reinforces it.
And also there is, when it comes to the class, there is some serious professors and some funny professors.
Okay, yes.
And,
so you, I tell some jokes and have fun.
You did win.
That's very nice of you. Now, did your parents encourage your sense of humor? Like, is your mom or dad or grandparents funny?
No, they are not. They are very serious.
They're very serious. So when did it come out? Did it come out? What is the Saudi classroom like when you're 10 years old? Is that a serious place or is it a fun place?
Also very serious.
It is.
But I remember it cost me a lot when I made some jokes.
Okay.
In Arabic, I guess in any language, you can play with the words.
Yes, right.
So I remember a teacher said, he's talking to a guy, he said, you are mrabba. Mrabba means you are educated.
Okay.
In Arabic. Mrabba also comes like a gem. You know, the honey thing.
Yes, jam. Okay, yeah.
Jam.
Yeah, right.
And then I said, mrabba or asal means honey or jam. And then everyone laughs. And then he asked me, you need to leave the class.
I see.
So yeah, it was very serious.
So this notion of wordplay, I think, is interesting. Some languages lends themselves to wordplay more than other. Evidently, French really lends itself to wordplay because you can use the same word in multiple ways.
Yeah.
English, okay, it's okay. But some other languages, not at all. The word means one thing, and the problem is wordplay often requires... So I wrote this paper we talked about. You tell a baker that he has nice buns, you know, and so the misdirection of, are you referring to his backside or his bread products, right? Creates the opportunity for comedy.
Yeah.
So Arabic has that element where...
As a little. Okay. Because in Arabic, you describe one thing by many words, but not the other way around. Not many words means a lot.
I see. Okay.
But there is. There's
enough of that. You know, one of the things that I think is interesting about a sense of humor is that even when it's risky, right? So, you know, you have to be risky about using it with your superiors, with the executive team. You had to be careful using it with a teacher or maybe some professors.
Yes.
Because they perceive you as not a serious person or in some ways attacking their authority or something like that. Yet, with your peers, it can elevate your status.
Yes.
You know, so I think like one of my colleagues who I do my humor research with, Caleb Warren, does research on coolness, on being cool. And cool is this alternative form of status that comes from kind of being a rule breaker. And so it makes authorities unhappy, but it often is appealing to peers. And humor has a little of that element to it.
I mean, it helps a lot. I mean, I have so many friends.
Okay.
And in fact, so many friends in the weekend invited me.
Okay. You're the entertainment.
Part of it because I'm the entertainment guy. So yeah, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
Break the rules, get people to know and to speak openly. So I fully agree. It's not about just a colleague. I think it even builds the friendship.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no doubt. And your wife, did you use comedy to court her?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, to some extent, because she's more serious.
So you catch her being serious and kind of loosen the moment up.
Yes,
I can see that. That's fun. That's nice. All right, so you have a lot going on. You have a full-time job, lots of responsibilities.
Yeah.
You have a big family, and you have an extended family.
Yeah.
Close by, and who's involved?
I have friends.
You have friends.
I have EMBA.
You have this right. You have a final exam coming soon.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Well, at the end, I feel I'm not satisfying anybody.
Okay.
My wife complaining. My boss complain.
Okay.
You are complaining, I guess.
Me? Not yet.
But I'm trying to use my weekends for the study.
Okay.
I'm trying to get out at night during the work day for my wife to keep her satisfied.
Okay.
I'm managing my work during the working time as much as I can. So it is tough.
Right.
But it's moving.
Yeah, right. And you have a graduation date in sight.
Which makes me feel happy. Yeah.
It makes it easier in that way. Have your work habits changed? Or have you, oftentimes it's, the saying is pressure makes diamonds. Without the pressure, you just have a lump of coal.
Yeah.
Do you notice that you have gotten better at things, or is it you just had to become so one of my colleagues has a paper about what they call there's 3 reactions to the kind of pressure you're under.
Yeah.
The first one's called priority planning. You make your list and then you do the most important things on the list and you just don't worry about the things that are lower on the list.
Yeah.
And that's a decent way to deal with it. The second one is called it's basically efficiency or efficiency planning.
Yeah.
Where you just get better, faster at doing things. So the job that used to take you 2 hours, you don't mess around as much and you get your work faster and harder and you get it done in 1 hour and 15 minutes. And then the last one is you just run around with like a chicken with your head cut off and you're just stressed out and not really, you just don't do as well as you were before.
I think I'm the third guy.
You're the third guy. You feel like a chicken with your head cut off.
Yes, exactly. I'm trying to prioritize things.
Okay.
So in the first day of the week, I list what I'm supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But usually I don't get it done by end of the week.
Okay.
So many other urgent things comes and then the whole thing messed up. But maybe the third one.
I think that's common. It's very common. So I want to ask you a little bit about where you're headed in life, right? So you're how old now?
40 years old.
So you're 40. So you're
just a few days, by the way.
Oh, happy birthday!
Oh, thank you very much.
So you're headed into middle age.
I'm waiting.
You're settled. You have a home. You have a family. You've got this career.
I'm waiting for my middle age crisis.
You are? Okay. If you're not having it now, you might not have it. We'll see.
Oh yeah, agree. Fully agree. Yeah. So.
Like, what's a good life? When you look back on your life, what are you going to say was a good life?
My wife has a passionate about the cooking. She wants to be. She's a very good cook.
Okay.
So I want to help her to open a small restaurant.
Oh, really? Wow.
And we started already now to plan how the funding will be, where's the place, etc., etc.
That's a tough business.
It is a tough business, but it's worth it because she likes it.
Okay.
She likes it too much.
Okay.
So I want to help her on that.
I guess your supply chain management skills should help, right? Being a restaurateur, that's a big part of the business.
Yeah, I think so. I think it will help. Your course will help, the marketing.
You think so? How? Let's do a little quiz.
No, please. By using the 5 C's. I don't know how many B's.
He just pulled out a piece of paper and looked at it.
So that's one thing. I think seeing your kids growing and going to a decent schools and what have you, that's also, this is something I'm looking for.
Yeah, healthy, happy, successful children. Yeah. I mean,
that's obvious.
Even I know that, and I have none, but that makes sense. Do you think about retiring? I know it's a weird question. You're 40.
In fact, I'm dreaming about retirement.
You are? Why? What does retirement look like?
Because I want to enjoy my life.
Okay.
I mean, I would say this, even it is, but you are a slave of your corporation. It's not about my specific, my company is one of the best companies in the world. I'm talking about people who goes from 8 to 5.
Right.
And 5 times a week.
Right.
You have to take permission if you do it. You don't own your time.
Yeah, right.
And the other thing, I don't want to die early.
Okay.
And if you work longer, you die early.
Yeah, right.
So maybe the restaurant of my wife will help us from a financial perspective. So then I can retire early. Right?
Yeah. And then you'll end up working in this restaurant probably.
Which I own, so I can control my time.
True.
Right?
Yeah, there is something. I mean, as a professor, one of the I work a lot of hours, but I decide when I work and how I work and where I work in a way that I do feel that kind of freedom. And so, yeah, there's moments where I'm in the office, on a Saturday night, and I'm like, why am I here? Or, in this case, this is like extra teaching I'm doing.
Okay.
And there's moments where I'm like, why am I doing this? But really, I have a choice. I chose to do it because I thought it'd be an adventure to come to Dubai. I always get to meet a whole different set of students than I get at the University of Colorado. It was going to push me to design an executive course, which I didn't have in my, pocket. Now I do. But I got to make the choice. And the nice thing is, I can do it again, or I can decide not to do it. I have that kind of flexibility and security.
But because of this, now I will do the sales pitch for the marketing, right?
Yeah. So we're doing this right now while we're recording this.
Yeah.
I have the students doing a hackathon, so they're putting together a product and they're going to pitch it to me in 15 minutes.
Yeah. So we choose something called Be Free.
Be Free.
Be Free, a company called Be Free.
Okay.
So it gets people out of their corporation slavery.
Okay.
Into you own your time. You are connected via, like Uber.
Okay.
Between the companies. So we imagine the companies in the future will not have a regular employees.
Okay.
It will be only connected via those apps.
I see.
So if they need a finance, they don't have to have a full employee. So they just connect you and you have your own profile.
I see. So contract work and then you can management.
You can do it from London, from Dubai, from wherever.
Yeah, I mean, there certainly is some good evidence of this in the world of design. For instance, you can find that a lot, where there's sort of free agents. You pick people up on
freelancers.
Exactly. So we do have to go to this pitch soon, but I want to ask you a few other questions. So do you feel like you've changed your mind about anything important recently? A realization that you had, I've been thinking about the world in this way. I've been doing things in that way. And I think it's time to change them up. I ask this because it's usually under times of stress and challenge when you get change.
I think I have changed for the sport. I was a big fan and I like sports too much. And I support local football.
Okay.
And then recently I stopped watching even.
Oh, okay.
And it's okay. I can watch it, but it's not like a big thing for me now.
Okay.
And don't ask me why.
Okay.
It just happened.
So it wasn't, you just found yourself moving away from it.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say that this has come up so 2 things that you've mentioned have come up on the podcast before. The first one is you saying that you want to enjoy your life.
Yeah.
So I had a conversation with comic Neil Brennan, who was saying he's around the same age as you and me. I'm older, but he's like, I just want to enjoy my life now. Like there's sort of this feeling of like, what is all this for?
Yeah.
I might as well try to have a more pleasurable existence if I can, all things equal. And then I forget the previous episode, but I got talking about how I've given up watching sports. I did a few years ago.
Oh.
But mine was a conscious decision.
Okay.
I just basically did a cost-benefit trade-off, and I realized that sports spectating was costing me more to my health and happiness and well-being than not.
Wow.
And after 30 years of watching sports, I said, no more.
It's time to stop.
It's time to stop. I do a tiny bit here and there, but it's nothing like I used to. I just realized there was other things I'd rather do. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, it's entertainment, you know. It might have been in that Neil Brennan conversation also that came up. So you have something in common with this American comedian I just talked to.
Great.
Okay, a couple quick questions and then we'll wrap. How do you deal with critiques? You get people evaluate you. They're critical of you. You've got bosses who are not happy with you. You have a wife who at times is displeased with your availability. You've got kids who, as much as they love you, they must at times be unhappy with the decisions you make.
Well, I'm not trying to draw a rosy picture about myself.
Okay.
But one of the good things about me that I'm very open for the critiques.
Okay.
And I try to reflect.
Okay.
And in fact, I'm too much criticizing myself.
Okay.
And one of the coaches for the leadership said to me, "You are criticizing yourself too much." So when you have a feedback, but at least it must be a constructive feedback.
Okay.
And then I will listen to you and reflect. And that if I become angry with my wife, and then maybe you will not welcome the critiques. But in the normal circumstances, I would accept that.
I see. So you're saying, am I right to say that you're your worst critic, and so it's pretty easy to deal with other people's critiques if you're being so hard on yourself? Where does that come from? Why are you so hard on yourself?
I don't know. This is something built on me.
Yeah? Does it, oftentimes in life, things that are a problem or painful also have a benefit. Right? So we were just earlier today talking about anxiety. On one hand, anxiety is good. It makes you vigilant. It makes you a planner. You get things done, as a way to cope with it. On the other hand, it can be debilitating. It can be distracting. It can keep you up at night and so on. So that same thing is both good and bad. So your critical self, your inner critic, where's the good? There must be some good in it.
It is.
Okay.
So you improve yourself.
Okay.
And it helps you also to open your brain to others when they critique you.
I see.
But the bad side of it, if you do it over, you lose your confidence.
Yes, right.
But I'm trying to manage it.
I see. Okay. Good luck.
Thanks.
What are you reading, watching, or listening to that you think is really good? So you had already mentioned some music at the outset.
Yeah.
But is there anything that really stands out that you're reading, watching, or listening to?
Not a specific. No. We watch movies every weekend with my wife.
Have you seen something you really like?
Kids. Yeah, there is an Italian movie.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Okay.
Where they meet for a dinner, couples.
Okay.
I think 4 couples.
Okay.
Wife and the husband. And they decide to play a game.
Okay.
You put your phone, and everyone calls you, you put it on the speaker.
Okay.
Any message you get, you share it with everyone.
Okay.
And the ideas.
Oh, it sounds like a funny, it sounds both like a funny and upsetting movie.
Funny.
There's no funniness to this.
It's no funniness.
Oh, wow.
It shows you the dark side of some of the people.
Ah, I see.
And then you see the cheating. I mean, the phone at the end has all of your secrets.
I see.
And then when I watched this with my wife, at the end she said to me, "Can we put our phones on the table?" Yeah.
We could do that right now. There's a phone. You have a phone call coming in.
Yeah, if you want to play this game.
You want to play it?
No. Not with you.
Well, and also this would be recorded for at least 6 other people.
Oh my God.
Do you know the name of it? Movie?
I will search for it.
Okay, and I'll put it into the notes.
Thanks.
For this. Last question. What is the secret to success everybody knows but can't seem to do?
Hard working.
Hard work. Okay.
It is easy to talk about things.
Mm-hmm.
It's very tough. You make it.
Yeah.
I think it's not one thing at the end. It must be a combination of many things. So you have to have a vision. You have to have high expectation. You work hard towards it, inspire people around you, etc., etc. Mm-hmm. I think the key, if you have only one thing, I think hard working.
Yeah. I think that is such a huge thing because it's just so hard to work hard.
Yeah.
You know, people want to enjoy their lives. Yeah. And, you know, we really weren't made to sit in a chair for all these hours and stare at computer screens and so on. And even the people who do the kind of sort of sexiest, most interesting work have to work hard. It's just, we just see the outcome of it and we think they're naturally talented.
Exactly.
Yeah. This was really a lot of fun. I really appreciate you agreeing to do this. I know it was an unusual request.
I really enjoyed it.
Good. All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit petermcgraw.org for more information about our guest, show notes, and social media links. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share with others. Join Dr. Peter McGraw next week for another fun, fascinating conversation on I'm Not Joking.